previewing NFL Week 7 here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are talking right now with John Ryan from JohnRyanSports.com. John, here we are, Monday once again, previewing the Thursday night NFL game. How you doing?
I've had better, Peter. Yesterday was pretty poor.
Really?
It was all over Houston, and I had Houston in the under. So,
Well, you should have watched our video. I did the preview with Jeff Grant, and Jeff said that he loved Green Bay, or he said he liked Green Bay on that one, and he gave reasons. He said
like or love, that was the right call. I guess that was a game where I think logically it was either Houston in the under or Green Bay in the over. I thought that made sense for the guys that were talking about Green Bay on my thread.
Yeah.
They all had solid reasons for taking Green Bay, but as you know, I have a pretty specific methodology that I follow. It did fortunately identify Oakland, and I played a real small amount on the money line. That didn't come through, but the Lions did okay. But overall, Sunday was not a good day for the releases I put out in the thread.
All right, but how are you overall in the year?
It was basically a break-even day. We lost a 20-star. We had gone 3-1-1 with the 10 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go on record with a 20-star play that didn't win. But, it wasn't a complete disaster. We all like to win every single weekend, but we'll move forward and try to do better.
All right, as long as it wasn't a complete disaster. Yeah, a bunch of cappers have been having bad years. I've gotten a lot of emails from all these cappers that I do videos with saying, like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to take a few weeks off and this and that. I'm like, geez, I don't know. Maybe the professional cappers are losing their touch in this modern age.
It could be, Peter. I'm one that always recommends never to take a week off because you lose.
Right. Oh, no, they're not taking a week off.
You got to get back to work and get back on the horse. And, if you go 0-5, which I have done,
right.
It happens. You also go 5-0 some weekends, and you feel pretty good.
That's true.
It's a long season.
No, they're not taking a week off from capping. They just don't want to do videos. But that's what I like about you. Whenever people take shots at you, I say, yeah. They're like, this guy can't pick a winner to save his life. I'm like, yeah, but if he does, he comes back the next week anyway. He doesn't care if he goes 0-5. He comes back and does videos with me every week. All right, so let's talk about Seattle at the Niners. Interesting game, right? Seattle is off of their straight-up win over New England. That was one which we discussed in our videos, and the Sharps were pretty clearly on Seattle in that one. And then the Niners off a blowout from the Giants. That took everyone by surprise. So I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, Seattle has a very strong home edge. When they go on the road, it's a little different. This is a very short week, of course. Niners have got to be in a pissed-off mood. Overall, I'm thinking the Niners -7, and we're maybe buying down to 6.5 might be a great bet here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too, Peter. I mean, every year we see great teams have games like the 49ers did yesterday. And a lot of those interceptions were deflected passes, and players just weren't, playing up to their capabilities. It happens. They're human beings. They're not, something different than a human being. And I think that's all that was yesterday. And if anything, that coaching staff has the ability, unlike some other teams, like, for example, if Philadelphia was on a short week this week, I would say bet against them just because they won't be prepared. But you can bet the 49ers will come out loaded for bear in this game. I am a little concerned about Seattle playing as well as they are, and it looks like they are playing at a sustained level. That game was not a fluke.
I mean, I'll tell you this.
It's not a fluke that New England's 3-3.
Yeah, on all of our videos were in our Seattle games on YouTube. All these people who follow Seattle religiously have been coming in and sort of saying week after week, Seattle's defense is great. It's underrated. It's underrated. It's underrated. They were saying that last week. They were like, we're going to stop Brady. And so that might be, if that's really true, then there's no reason to think they won't bring another top-notch defensive performance here again.
Well, I agree, except for the one stat that you and I have been talking about is yards per point. And I highly recommend everybody get involved with learning what yards per point can tell you.
Okay.
Seattle for 2012 ranks 7th in the NFL with a 19 yards per point allowed. That means it takes an opponent 19 yards on average to score 1 point on the scoreboard. Okay, that's the average for the season. The last three, it's 17.6. So the higher the number, the better the defensive efficiency. So you can see that they're improving. In the last game against New England, they posted a very impressive 20.7 yards per point reading. And against Tom Brady, not many teams can do that. However, as you alluded to in our beginning of our discussion, they are different when they're home, and they are different, vastly different away. For 2012 home games, their defenses played great, 24.7 yards per point, by far one of the best home defenses in the league. They get on the road, that number drops all the way down to 14.3. And that differential is by far the widest between home and away teams in the NFL. So I think that alone is reason enough to lean towards the 49ers here. And, I'll definitely have a play on the 49ers come Thursday night. It's just a question of whether it's going to be 5 or 10. I have to get through more research. But for now, I think Seattle's defense will have trouble, and there's no reason to think they won't. The history is right there.
Yep, I think that the Niners are a decent play here as well, but we'll see what everyone has to say when we get closer to kickoff. Definitely the Niners teaser is going to be a big public play. Thanks, John. Talk to you very soon.